Here's how to improve your child's sparring in 3 simple steps. It's Mr. Daniel here at Seigler's Karate Center, and we've also got
Mr. Waters here.
first step that we're going to be doing is one of the most important things to help your child sparring, which is movement. Say movement, movement. So we're going to be in our guard position. When you're working with your student, one of the most important things is that we're not only moving inwards and backwards. Most of the time you'll see your student out here on the karate mat moving straight backwards or moving straight forwards. And what we want to change is instead of just moving in a straight line, moving around in different angles. So one of the drills that you can work with your child at home is a simple follow the leader drill. So you want to teach them how to have their hands up in a good stance, and wherever you go, they have to follow. So if I move to the right, he moves to the right. If I move to the left, he moves to the left. If I move forward, he moves backwards. And if I move backwards, he moves forwards. Once I have these different directions that I can move in, I can start moving around in different ways. So instead of moving straight forward and straight backward, side to side, we can kind of curve it. So this time he's going to be moving around in a circle following me, moving backwards, moving forwards. Wherever I go, he is going to be following. This is sparring tip number 1, focusing on movement. All right, let's focus on sparring tip number 2 for your student, which is going to be focusing on accuracy. Ever get frustrated when you're seeing your student out there moving around and they move in to throw their punch and they completely miss their target? How frustrating is that? Well, we're going to be focusing on combining our movement and our accuracy together into one. So if I have Mr. Waters here with me, we're going to be moving around. And what you're going to be working on is having your student move in and hit specific targets. So you see how he has his glove up right now? So you're going to be working on having your student move in, hit that target, and then focus on moving out of the way. So now they're focused on hitting one specific spot and combining their movement together. So let's say we're moving around. This time I'm going to be the parent, you're going to be the student. So if I hold up my glove, he moves in, he hits my glove, and he moves out. Of course, if that was really in sparring, we would be aiming for the nose. So he moves in, my nose, and he moves out. Then I give him other spots for him to hit. Let's say I'm focusing on the body. So I show him my gloves, he hits the body, and he moves out. Let's say I'm wanting him to focus on his round kick on the side. Well, I show him my elbow, that's where he hits. So what I'm doing is I'm giving him specific targets. So that way he knows exactly where his punches and kicks are supposed to go and where they're not supposed to go. Right, everyone, ready for sparring tip number 3? So we have the movement that we're focusing on. We have the accuracy. But now it's time to focus on what happens after your student moves in and throws their combination. They have to focus on standing their ground. Because most of the time, here's what will happen. Watch this. So if I'm the student, I'm moving in, I'm throwing my techniques, pop, pop, but when I move out, my attacker's coming in, oh man, and then I end up backing up or even falling on the ground. So we want to avoid that. So one of the first things that you're going to focus on with your student is as soon as they move in and they throw their techniques, 1, 2, as soon as they move out of the way, you're going to have them focus on bending their knees, holding their ground. You're going to come and give them a little push on the shoulder. Make sure they have a strong stance, because they can have their arms up and they can be blocking, but if they don't have a strong stance, they're moving all the way back. So watch this one more time. So you have your student moving in, they're throwing their 2 techniques, you're having them move out of the way, you're coming in, you're pushing them, making sure they have a solid ground. Once we focus on having a solid stance, having solid ground, now we can focus on him attacking me with counter strikes. So let's say I'm moving in, I'm throwing my jab, cross, round kick. So I'm coming in, 1, 2, 3. I move out of the way. I bend my knees. Now he comes in with different attacks, and I'm working on blocking. So one more time, I'm moving in, I'm throwing my techniques. I move out of the way. I stand my ground, and I block. That's tip number 3 to help your child improve on their sparring skills. If you can focus on step 1, step 2, and step 3, you're going to see your child sparring go through the roof.